Hannah Wells hasn't had an orgasm with a partner in 5 years, not since she was 15, drugged at a party and raped while the boy watched her the whole time. Now she's drunk. She's in the hockey captain's bed, and she's trying to climb on top of him. He rolls her off, holds her hand still, tells her no, not because he doesn't want her, but because she isn't sober enough to mean it, and he refuses to be another man who takes something she can't give. She wakes up the next morning and confesses everything. Then she asks him to do something no one has ever asked him before: help her rewire a body that learned to shut down under a man's gaze. Rather in range, just patience and experience. The guy she's asking is Garrett Graham, a commitment-phobic athlete who's built a no-girlfriend rule like a wall around a single fear, that hell become his father, the kind of man who uses fists instead of words. He says yes before he understands what he's agreeing to, because she's the first person who's ever looked at him and seen a safe place instead of a score. The arrangement is clinical in theory, step by step in practice. But the therapy works faster than either of them expected, and the night she finally lets go with him, the terms of the deal are already in ashes behind them. What neither of them knows yet is that this repair job she designed for herself is about to crack open the damage has been hiding, and his healing will prove just as necessary as hers. Episode 1: The Deal That Changes Everything. Hannah Wells sits in the back row of philosophical ethics, and for the millionth time in 45 minutes, she sneaks a look at the wide receiver 2 rows over. Justin is so beautiful, it makes her throat close up. Rugged features, soulful brown eyes. Today, a baseball cap hides thick dark hair, the kind that looks silky to the touch. She knows because she has imagined touching it. In the 5 years since the rape, her heart has pounded for only 2 guys. The first one dumped her. The second one, Justin has no idea she exists. At the podium, the professor delivers what Hannah has come to call the disappointment speech. Third one in 6 weeks, 70% of the class scored a C plus or lower on the midterm. He announces a makeup exam for anyone who wants to improve their grade, then dismisses them. Hannah doesn't need the makeup. She got an A. She wrote what she considered ramblings of nonsense, but the professor apparently values ramblings. As the lecture hall empties, she gathers her things and glances towards Justin one more time. He is looking at her, not through her, not past her, at her. Her heart stops. Then he nods. A simple, brief nod of acknowledgement. She manages to nod back before he turns and walks out. It is the smallest possible exchange between two human beings, but Hannah's pulse pounds so hard she can feel it in her temples. Baby steps, her therapist always says. This counts as a baby step. Justin knows she is alive. She holds on to that small victory because it is all she has. The F that threatens his hockey career. Garrett Graham does not nod at anyone when he walks out of philosophical ethics. He stares straight ahead, jaw tight, the F on his midterm burning a hole through his backpack. An F. He has never gotten an F in his life. And now, when his entire hockey career depends on maintaining a C plus average, he's sitting at a C minus and his ethics grade is dragging him under. This is not supposed to happen. He is the captain of Briar University's hockey team. His father is Phil Graham, 2-time Stanley Cup champion. Hockey is not a hobby. Hockey is the only path Garrett has ever been allowed to walk. The old ethics professor had handed out as like mints for 15 years. The year Garrett takes the class, the man's ticker acts up and the department brings in a replacement, someone who apparently believes undergraduates should read like graduate students and think like philosophers. Garrett cannot think like a philosopher. He can skate, he can check, he can read a power play 3 moves ahead. Ask him to explain Kant's categorical imperative in an essay, and he stares at a blank page until his vision blurs. The math is brutal. He needs a C plus average to stay eligible. If he fails ethics, he is off the ice. No ice, no draft. No draft, no career. No career, and his father's entire life's work molding Garrett into a clone turns to ash. Not that his father would accept that quietly. He stops in the hallway outside the lecture hall. A girl walks past, earbuds in, auburn hair spilling over a worn gray scarf. Garrett recognizes her from class. She sits near the front, always takes notes, never raises her hand. He remembers the professor handing back midterms this girl had smiled at her paper. He intercepts her before she reaches the exit. Hey, you're in my ethics class, right? She pulls out an earbud and regards him with cautious green eyes. Yes, you did well on the midterm. Read it, bot. Her expression doesn't change. I did okay. Okay, he repeats. I failed. She waits. She does not offer sympathy. I need a tutor, he says, and you clearly know the material. She shakes her head before he finishes. I don't have time. I have classes, a job, and I'm preparing for the winter showcase. I can't take on tutoring. Name your price. It's not about money. Then what is it about? She looks at him directly. I told you, I don't have time. She puts her earbud back in and walks away. Garrett watches her go. Her name, he remembers from the study group Sudnum sheet, is Hannah. And she just told him no. He's not used to hearing no. Back at the townhouse, his roommates are deep into a video game marathon, beer bottles crowding the coffee table, the television blaring. Dean is tangled on the couch with some girl Garrett doesn't recognize. Nobody looks up when he walks in. He takes the stairs two at a time and finds Kendall waiting on his bed. Kendall, in expensive white lace and pink bows, sprawled across his sheets like she belongs there. His roommates let her in. Of course they did. She is beautiful and willing and exactly what he usually wants. No strings, no expectations, just heat and release. But tonight, something about the careful way she has arranged herself on his bed, the lingerie more elaborate than usual, feels like a trap. Afterward, when she whispers, I missed you, the words land like a warning shot. He breaks it off 2 days later. Kendall stands in his doorway in a trench coat over lingerie, and he tells her he cannot do this anymore. Hockey comes first. There is no room for a girlfriend. She accepts it with more grace than he deserves and leaves. When she is gone, Logan, his roommate and the team's defendant, finds him in the kitchen staring at nothing. You look like someone just canceled hockey, Logan says. I failed my ethics midterm. I need a tutor. Didn't you ask that girl? The one from your class? She said no. His roommate grins. So ask her again. VBF, man. VBF? Very busy fucking. You're Garrett Graham. Persistence is supposed to be your thing. Hannah's duet disaster and the tutoring lie. Hannah's week does not improve. At rehearsal, her duet partner, a baritone with wavy dark hair and an ego the size of a concert hall, wants to change the key of their showcase piece. Again, he argues, cajoles, and when Hannah refuses, he turns to Mary Jane at the piano and pleads for backup. Mary Jane, the songwriter, just fidgets and says nothing useful. Hannah storms out of the music building with her jaw aching from clenching her teeth. Allie, her roommate and best friend, calls as she is walking. What's up your ass? Cassidy Donovan, Hannah says. I want to murder him when he's awake so he can see the joy on my face. Allie laughs. Want to vent over dinner? Can't. I'm seeing Graham tonight. Still can't believe you caved on the tutoring thing. I didn't cave. I'm charging him $60 an hour. The lie comes out smooth. Hannah does not know why she says it. The truth, the fake date, the Justin plan feels too complicated, too embarrassing to explain. Later, at Garrett's townhouse, the tutoring session is a disaster. His phone buzzes constantly. Some girl keeps texting increasingly explicit messages. Hannah finally snatches the phone from his hand and types out a reply. This is Garrett's tutor. You're annoying me. We're done in 30 minutes. Garrett stares at her. Did you just text my hookup? You're supposed to be learning Kant. She can wait. To her surprise, when she quizzes him, he can summarize the categorical imperative accurately. He cannot apply it to save his life, but he has done the reading. He is not stupid. He is just untrained. End quote. She sings for him and something shifts. It is the music that changes things. She arrives the next session still furious from another fight with the baritone. Garrett notices her mood immediately. She is snapping at his questions, drumming her fingers on the textbook, radiating frustration, and he finally demands to know what is wrong. She tells him. The duet, her partner wanting a choir for the last chorus, Mary Jane's silence. The feeling that her one chance to perform at the winter showcase is being stolen from her by a guy who cannot stand to share the spotlight. Garrett listens without interrupting. Then he says, sing it for me. What? The song. Both versions. I'll tell you which one works. You don't know anything about music. I know what sounds good. Sing. She hesitates. But there is something in his expression, not a challenge, not a joke. He wants to hear her. So she picks up the guitar he brought down from his room, takes a breath, and sings. When she finishes, the silence stretches. Garrett's face has gone still in a way she has never seen. His usual cocky grin is gone. He looks like someone who just walked into a door he did not know was there. Your voice is... He stops. Starts again. Fuck, Wellesley. It's beautiful. She feels heat rise to her cheeks. Thanks. Drop the duet. Do it solo. I can't abandon him. Why not? Has walking all over you. It's complicated, but something has shifted between them. When she leaves that night, they text back and forth. He has deleted One Direction from her iPod as a prank, and she retaliates with threats of bodily harm, and she realizes, lying in her dorm bed, that she and Garrett are friends now. She does not know how that happened. She is not sure she trusts it, but it is true. Garrett's father appears in the parking lot after the game against Eastwood like he always does. The routine is carved into Garrett's bones. Play the game, walk to the lot, find his father leaning against a black Mercedes, receive a nod if they won, silence if they lost. Tonight was a 3-0 shutout. Garrett played through a fist-sized bruise on his ribs from a hit by a monster of a dad of rent. He scored, he led. His father gives him a single nod, gets into his car, and drives away. That is the sum total of their relationship, performance and acknowledgement. What his father does not know, what no one knows except Hannah, now is that the acknowledgement is worthless. Garrett hates him. Hates the way his father pushed him into hockey before he could walk. Hates the way the man's rage used to fill their house like smoke from a fire you could not see. Hates that Phil Graham can stand in a parking lot, nod at his son, and feel like he has done his job as a parent. He hates, most of all, that he still wants the nod. Logan finds him in the locker room afterward. Hey, that girl you're tutoring, Hannah? She's single? Garrett's stomach tightens. Why? She's hot, and you said you're not into her. I'm not, so you don't care if I ask her out? Garrett looks at his roommate. Logan is a good guy. He would treat Hannah well, and Garrett has no claim on her. No reason to care who she dates. Ask her if you want, he says, and the words taste like ash. The Thanksgiving call and her broken past. Hannah's mother calls on Sunday morning. The phone call Hannah has been looking forward to all week turns into something else when her mother's voice goes tight and careful. We can't afford to fly you home for Thanksgiving, sweetheart. We're so sorry. Hannah's parents live in Ransom, Indiana, a town that turned on them 5 years ago and never turned back. They are still paying legal fees from the lawsuit, the slander suit the rapist's family filed after the case was dismissed. They took out a second mortgage. Her father works 2 jobs. Now, they cannot afford a plane ticket for their daughter. I have savings, Hannah says. I can send you money. No, honey, absolutely not. You need that for school. Then Elle win the Winter Showcase scholarship. That covers everything. Her mother's voice softens. I know you will. I believe in you. After she hangs up, Hannah sits on her bed and stares at the wall. She thinks about Devin, the boyfriend who broke up with her because she could not give him what he wanted. Because every time they were together, her body locked up. Because the rape at 15, drugged at a party, held down, eyes watching her, stole something from her that she cannot seem to get back. She has never had an orgasm with a partner. Not once. Her body simply will not cooperate. She is broken, and no matter how much her therapist tells her otherwise, she feels the truth of it in her bones. The night of Breaking Bad and the story of Smokey. The next tutoring session does not stay a tutoring session for long. After the Hobbs and Locke material, which Garrett grasps faster than she expects, he orders pizza and pulls up Breaking Bad on his laptop. You need to watch this. It's a masterpiece. Hannah hesitates, but she does not want to go home to her silent dorm room and her thoughts about her parents, about money, about the showcase she might not be able to compete in if her duet partner gets his way. Fine. 1 episode. They watch the entire first season. 7 episodes, back to back, stopping only for pizza refills and bathroom breaks. Somewhere around episode 4, they end up sharing the same blanket. Garrett makes popcorn. His dog, a massive mutt named Napoleon, sprawls across their feet. Sometime after midnight, the conversation turns personal. Why don't you date? Hannah asks. But I don't have time for a relationship, Garrett says. Hockey takes everything. That's sad. It's practical. She tells him about her dog growing up, a border collie who used to herd the neighborhood kids. He tells her about the cat his family had when he was 12, a stray he named Smokey. The cat story starts as a joke and then darkens. He used to scratch the furniture, Garrett says, his voice flattening. My father got tired of it. One day I came home and Smokey was gone. My father said he ran away. But I knew. I knew what happened. Hannah watches his face. The easy grin is gone. What is left is something hard and old, a wound that never properly healed. He hurt you too, she says quietly. Garrett does not answer, but his silence is answer enough. It is nearly 3 in the morning when Hannah tries to leave. Garrett refuses to let her take a cab. Either I drive you or you stay, he says. You've had 2 beers. Hours ago. I'm fine. You're not driving, then you're staying. She should argue. She should insist. Instead, she hears herself say, fine, I'll sleep on the couch. No, his voice is firm. You sleep in my bed. The couch is a free-for-all. My drunk roommates won't care whose body they flop on. You'll be safer in here. The word safer lands somewhere deep in her chest. She looks at his bed, at the rumpled sheets and the pile of hockey gear in the corner, and she thinks about what she knows about Garrett Graham. He is arrogant, relentless, and insufferably cocky. He has slept with half the female population of Briar University. He pushed her into this tutoring arrangement through sheer force of will, but he has also listened to her sing. He has made her laugh. He has told her about his father, a truth she suspects he has told very few people. And tonight, when she met his eyes and said she would not drink the beer he offered, he put the bottle away without another word. Okay, she says. They lie on opposite sides of the bed, a careful distance between them. She falls asleep listening to the sound of his breathing. Garrett wakes first. He is on his back. Hannah is curled against his side, her head in the crook of his neck, her arm draped across his stomach, her leg hooked over his thigh. She smells like cherries. Her breath is warm against his collarbone. He does not move. He should move. He should slide out from under her, hit the shower, pretend this never happened. That is what the Garrett who sleeps with women who expect nothing and does not date would do. Footnote. But this Garrett, the one who spent last night watching Breaking Bad and eating popcorn and telling Hannah about Smokey the cat, this Garrett lies still and feels something unspool in his chest. It is nice. That is all. Just nice. He does not let go until she stirs. When her eyes flutter open and she realizes where she is, who she is tangled up with, she jerks away like he is on fire. Did we know? He says. We didn't do anything. Don't tell anyone, she orders. If your roommates see me leaving, I swear to God he drives her home before any of his roommates wake up. The next morning, the wide receiver approaches her before ethics class. Hey, Hannah, right? Her heart launches into her throat. Yeah. Hi, I heard you left the Sigma party with Garrett Graham. She freezes. We're friends. He's tutoring me. We're not just in smiles. It is a good smile. Warm. That's cool. I was hoping to talk to you that night, but you disappeared. You were? Yeah. He leans against the wall, easy, confident. Maybe we could get coffee sometime, he says. Get to know each other. Before she can answer, Garrett materializes at her elbow, holding 2 cups. Morning, Wellesley. He hands her 1 cup without acknowledging Justin at all. Ready for class? Justin's eyes flick between them. His expression flickers curiosity, maybe, or assessment. Then he shrugs. See you around, Hannah. He walks away. Garrett steers her toward the lecture hall, his hand hovering at the small of her back. What did he want? He asked me to coffee. And? I didn't get a chance to answer before you showed up. Good. Men like a challenge. Make him wait. She wants to argue, but she cannot ignore the fact that the guy who did not know her name 2 weeks ago just asked her out. And Garrett, who has made himself impossible to ignore, is the reason why. The deal is working. At the next tutoring session, Garrett clears his roommates out of the house. Beau's party is Saturday, he says when Hannah arrives. We need to make sure we look convincing as a couple. What does that mean? Body language, eye contact, the way we touch. He pauses. We should probably practice. Hannah's stomach tightens. Practice what? Kissing. No. You can't freeze up when I kiss you at the party. Justin will know something's off. He won't even be there. You don't know that. And even if he's not, other people will be. People who will report back. Garrett leans forward, his blue eyes glinting. What are you afraid of, Wellesley? That you might like it? I'm not afraid of anything. Then prove it. The challenge hangs in the air between them. Hannah knows she should walk away. She knows this is a terrible idea. She knows Garrett is exactly the kind of guy she should not get involved with, the kind who sees women as conquests, who collects phone numbers like trophies, who told her himself he does not date. But he is also the guy who held her while she slept and did not try anything, the guy who listened to her sing and looked at her like she had shown him something he did not know existed. Chapter unquote. Fine, she hears herself say. His grin flickers. He did not expect her to agree. He stands up, walks toward her, stops when he is close enough that she can feel the heat radiating off his body. Last chance to back out, he says. Just do it. He cups her face with one hand, his palm is warm and rough from hockey gloves. His thumb brushes her cheekbone, and then he kisses her. It is not gentle, it is not tentative, it is a full-body collision. His mouth slanting over hers, his other hand gripping her waist and pulling her against him. Her brain shuts off. There is only sensation, the pressure of his lips, the taste of him, the heat flooding through her in tingling waves. She kisses him back. She cannot help it. Her hands fist in his shirt, and she makes a sound she has never made before, something between a gasp and a moan. And Garrett responds by deepening the kiss until she cannot remember why this was supposed to be a bad idea. The front door opens. Footsteps in the living room. Dean's voice carries through. "Garrett, you here?" Hannah rips herself away. Her lips are swollen. Her heart is hammering. Garrett is staring at her with an expression she cannot read. Dark, intense, hungry. Dean steps into the doorway and stops. His mouth opens, then closes. He blinks once, registering the scene. And Hannah, in a moment of pure, desperate panic, does the only thing she can think of to prove the kiss meant nothing. She walks over to him, says, "Hi, roomie," and kisses him full on the mouth. And Dean freezes. His lips are unresponsive. There is no spark, no heat, nothing like what just happened with Garrett. She pulls back, forces a smile, and says, "See you Saturday, Garrett." She walks out without looking back. Behind her, Garrett's eyes are burning a hole through the closed door. Dean is sputtering something about what the hell just happened. But Hannah cannot hear any of it over the roaring in her ears and the terrible, undeniable truth she just learned about herself. She is desperately, catastrophically attracted to Garrett Graham, and she has no idea what to do about it. Episode 2, Fixing Each Other. Hannah Wells tells her roommate Allie the date is a lost bet. "I lost a bet," she says, zipping her boot and avoiding eye contact, "and now I have to go out with him." Allie is not buying it. "You're going out with Garrett Graham because you lost a bet." "Sure, and I'm marrying Chris Hemsworth." But Hannah cannot tell her the truth, that this is a transactional fake date designed to make Justin jealous, and that the kiss they practiced 2 days ago lit her entire body on fire, and she kissed Dean to cover it up, and she has been lying in bed every night since, replaying the kiss in her head like a song she cannot stop. She tells her roommate nothing. Garrett arrives to pick her up, and the first thing he does is critique her sweater. "You're not wearing that." Hannah looks down at the thick gray wool. "Why not?" "Because it's baggy and shapeless, and it makes you look like you're hiding something." He pushes past her into the dorm room, opens her closet, and pulls out a red top she bought 2 years ago and never wore. "This one, that shows too much. That's the point." She changes. The top is low-cut and clings to every curve, and when she emerges from the bathroom, his gaze drops to her chest and stays there for a beat too long. He swallows better. At Bo Maxwell's party, Garrett takes her hand the moment they walk through the door. His palm is warm and rough, and her stomach flips so violently she nearly stumbles. "You're gonna be the center of attention tonight, babe," he murmurs against her ear, and then he kisses the side of her throat. "Smile and pretend you're enjoying it." Another kiss, this time on the corner of her jaw. She sucks in a breath. Her body is doing things she cannot control. Heat pooling low, pulse hammering, skin buzzing everywhere his lips touch. "I haven't been able to stop thinking about that kiss," Garrett says, low enough that only she can hear. She cannot respond, cannot admit that she has not stopped thinking about it either, cannot let herself feel this, because this arrangement is a means to an end, and Garrett is exactly the kind of guy she should not want. But he keeps holding her hand, and she does not pull away. A linebacker interrupts them, and Garrett gets pulled into a conversation about the upcoming season. Hannah drifts toward the drink table, and when a red cup of beer is offered to her, she shakes her head. "Come on, live a little," the guy holding the cup says. Garrett materializes beside her. She said no. The guy backs off. Garrett studies her face. You don't drink. I don't drink at parties. Why not? She hesitates. She has never told anyone this story, not her roommate, not her therapist, not a single person at Briar. But he is watching her with an intensity that makes her feel like he actually wants to know. A friend of mine, she says carefully, got slipped something at a high school party, GHB. She woke up in a hospital, so I don't drink in public, ever. She braces for him to make a joke. Instead, his expression shifts, hardens. Something almost like recognition flickers in his eyes. That happened to you? No, she says quickly. Too quickly. It was a friend. He does not push, but something passes between them, an understanding or the beginning of one. And when Bo Maxwell comes over to say he remembers her singing Stand By Me at a spring showcase, Garrett's hand finds the small of her back and stays there. Justin walks in 20 minutes later. Garrett sees him first. Without missing a beat, he leans down and presses a deliberate, possessive kiss to Hannah's cheek. Justin's here, he says. Let's make him jealous. And the performance continues. But Hannah cannot shake the feeling that, for Garrett, it stopped being a performance somewhere back at the front door. Justin makes a beeline for her the moment Garrett steps away to talk to a teammate. Hannah, right? The wide receiver's smile is warm. Easy. I've been trying to talk to you all night, but your bodyguard keeps getting in the way. Has not my bodyguard. Then maybe we could get coffee sometime. Just the two of us. Her heart should be soaring. This is the guy she has been pining over since September. The guy she agreed to this whole scheme for, and he is standing in front of her, asking her out. But Garrett intercepts them before she can answer. He claps Justin on the shoulder with a grin that does not reach his eyes. Great party. Come on, let's get you a drink. I'm good, Justin says, his gaze still on Hannah. Garrett steers him away anyway. Later, Kendall appears, the girl Garrett was hooking up with before this whole arrangement started. She corners him near the staircase, her arms crossed, her expression wounded. So you're dating her now? The tutor? We're friends, Garrett says. Friends don't look at each other the way you two look at each other. What do you want, Kendall? I want to know why you'll date her, but you wouldn't date me. Garrett's jaw tightens. What's my favorite color? Kendall blinks. What? My favorite color? What is it? I don't know. Blue? It's black. The voice comes from behind Kendall. Hannah has appeared at Garrett's elbow, and she is looking at Kendall with something that is not quite pity. His favorite color is black. You'd know that if you paid attention to anything but his face. Kendall's mouth opens and closes. She leaves without another word. Garrett stares at Hannah. How did you know that? All your shirts are black. It wasn't hard. He looks at her a beat too long. She watches something shift behind his eyes and does not know what it is. But she feels the weight of it heavy and warm, like a hand pressing against her chest. The next morning, Hannah goes to the coffee hut to meet her friends. They are still buzzing about seeing her with Garrett at the party, and she is still deflecting their questions when Justin walks in. Her crush, the football player she has been watching since September. He approaches her table, smiles that easy smile. Hey, I never got your answer about coffee. Her friends are watching. Her phone buzzes Garrett, calling. She ignores it. Justin asks, Are you and Garrett, like, together? The lie comes out before she can stop it. We're casually seeing each other. It's not exclusive. Good. He takes her phone and enters his number, and he does not miss the name that flashes on the screen when Garrett calls again. Next Sunday, dinner. Just the two of us. She says yes. She now has a date with Justin on Sunday, and something undefined but electric with Garrett, and she is lying to both of them. Monday morning, Hannah takes her usual ethics seat. Garrett runs late. He slides into the seat beside her with a wild grin and spins her around right there in the lecture hall. He got an A- on his makeup midterm. You did it, she breathes. We did it, Wellesley. His arms are still around her, his face inches from hers, and for one suspended moment, she thinks he is going to kiss her in front of everyone. He stops himself at the last second, but the heat between them is unmistakable. After class, he pulls her aside. Dean's having a party tonight. At Malone's. Come with me. I have rehearsal. After rehearsal then. He pauses. You said you don't drink in public because of what happened to your friend. But if you had a bodyguard, someone who would watch your drink from pour to hand, who would not leave your side, who would make sure nothing bad ever happened to you, would you drink then? She stares at him. I'm offering to be that bodyguard, Hannah. Your bartender. Your friend. Trust me. And she does. She does not know when it happened, but somewhere between the kiss and the sleepless nights and the way he looked at her when she told him about the drugging, she started trusting him. "Kay," she says. That night, Malone's is packed. Garrett orders her a pina colada and watches the bartender make it from start to finish. He hands it to her himself. "Nothing bad is going to happen," he says. "I promise." She takes a sip, then another. The tension in her shoulders eases. By the third drink, she is laughing at Tucker's arguments about screen time and debating with Sims about frog licking, and somewhere in the middle of it all, she realizes she is having fun. She is at a bar, drinking, surrounded by hockey players, and she is not afraid. Garrett watches her the whole time. When Dean pulls her on stage for karaoke and touches her arm a little too familiarly, Garrett calls her down immediately. She leaps off the stage directly into his arms, and he catches her like it is the most natural thing in the world. "You won't let anything bad happen to me, will you, Garrett?" she asks, her green eyes searching his face. A lump the size of Massachusetts lodges in his throat. Then the song changes. Lineards, Skinnyrids Tuesdays gone comes through the speakers, slow and mournful, and his expression fractures. "Dance with me," he says. On the dance floor, he holds her close. Closer than he needs to. His face is buried in her hair, and she can feel something unspooling inside him. "This song," he says roughly. "It played at my mother's funeral. I was 12. I got up and danced so I wouldn't cry." Hannah's arms tighten around him. She does not say anything. There is nothing to say to a confession like that except to hold on. The night was supposed to end well. It had been going so well. Then she bumps into Devin. Her ex-boyfriend is standing near the bar with his arm around a pretty blonde Emily. Someone introduces her, and when Devin sees Hannah, his expression flickers with something between guilt and discomfort. "Hey, Hannah, you look great, thanks." Her voice is a stranger's voice. "Good to see you." She excuses herself and walks away. But the damage is done. Devin broke up with her because she could not give him what he wanted. Because every time they tried, her body locked up. Because she is broken, and no amount of therapy changes that. And Emily Pretty, smiling Emily, has probably never frozen under a boy's touch in her life. Emily can probably have orgasms. Emily is not a project. Emily is not damaged. Hannah marches to the bar and orders another drink. Then another. "I'm broken," she tells Garrett when he finds her. "I might be broken, but I can still have fun." She does not remember much after that. She dances with Dean. She sings something off-key. Garrett pulls her away, wraps his arm around her waist, and takes her back to his house. He puts her in his bed. She wakes up a few hours later to find him beside her, watching her with something fierce and protective in his expression. She reaches for him. "Kiss me," she says. He does. It is soft at first, then deeper. Her hands slide under his shirt. His breath catches, then he stops. "You're drunk," he says. So? So you trusted me to look out for you." Luck. He pulls her hands away from his body, gently but firmly. "This is me looking out for you." She stares at him, then she bursts into tears. The confession. Hannah wakes up in Garrett's arms for the second time in 2 weeks. But this time, she wants to be there. Sunlight leaks through the blinds. He is still asleep, his face relaxed, his arm a heavy weight across her waist. She lies there and thinks about what happened last night, about Devin, about Emily, about the 3 words she cannot stop repeating in her head. "I am broken." But he did not take advantage of her. When she was drunk and desperate and throwing herself at him, he said no. He chose to protect her instead of taking what she offered. That is not the move of a guy who only wants sex. He stirs. His eyes open, blue and sleep-soft, and he smiles when he sees her. "Morning, Wellesley." Morning. There is a pause. He is waiting for her to freak out, she realizes. To demand he drive her home before the roommates wake up. To pretend this did not happen. Instead, she says, "I want to sleep with you." He freezes. "Not in the drunken sad way," she adds quickly. "I mean, I want us to have sex. A sex arrangement. No strings. Just," she swallows, "just to work through some things." Garrett sits up. The sleepiness is gone from his face now, replaced by something sharp and assessing. "Lice." "What kind of things?" "Things. Hannah. You're good at this. You're experienced. And she cannot finish the sentence. You need what? The words will not come. They are lodged in her throat like a stone, the same way they have been lodged for 5 years. But he is looking at her with such steady patience, such unshakable calm, that the stone begins to crack. I was raped, she says. The room goes silent. I was 15. I was drugged at a party. He held me down. I couldn't move, couldn't scream, and his eyes, he watched me the whole time. Her voice breaks. Garrett reaches for her and she lets him pull her against his chest, lets him wrap his arms around her while the sobs tear through her body. I can't have an orgasm with a guy, she whispers into his shoulder. I've never been able to. My body just shuts down. Devin broke up with me because I couldn't. I'm broken. The rape broke something inside me and I can't fix it. You're not broken, baby, he says, and his voice is rough. You're not. Help me prove it. She pulls back to look at him, her face blotchy and swollen and desperate. Help me reprogram my body. Just sex. You're good at sex, and I know you don't want a relationship, so okay. She blinks. What? I said okay. He cups her face with both hands. Well, go slow. Baby steps. It'll help you. She does not know what she expected, but it was not this, not the tenderness in his voice, not the gentle way he brushes the tears from her cheeks, not the absolute certainty in his eyes. The hockey captain who sleeps with airheads and does not date looks at her like she is something precious, and Hannah, who has spent 5 years believing she is irreparably damaged, begins to hope. Learning each other. Garrett is terrified. He has slept with more girls than he can count, but this is different. This is Hannah who was drugged and violated and left for broken, and the thought of hurting her, of doing something that reminds her of that night, makes his stomach clench with a fear he has never felt before. He does the only thing he can think of. Birdie, he says in the weight room the next day, keeping his voice low. I need advice. Evan Bird looks up from the bench press. About? A girl. Birdie raises an eyebrow. You're asking me for girl advice? Garrett hesitates. He cannot tell anyone the truth. She's inexperienced. A virgin? And I don't want to screw it up. Birdie studies him for a long moment. Then he says, go slow, make her comfortable, lots of foreplay. And for God's sake, talk to her. Ask her what she wants. Don't just assume. The advice is solid. Garrett clings to it. Meanwhile, his roommate Logan pulls him aside. Hey, about Hannah. After you two are done with whatever this is, you think I could ask her out? Garrett's entire body goes rigid. No. Come on, you said you're not serious about her. I said no, Logan. He does not examine why the question makes him want to punch a wall. Hannah drives to the townhouse that afternoon with her stomach in her throat. She nearly pulls over 3 times. By the time she parks, she is trembling. Garrett opens the door. He is wearing a faded t-shirt and sweatpants, and his hair is still damp from a shower. He looks at her face and says, come on, we're watching Breaking Bad. I thought we will. First, Walter White. He puts on the next episode and pulls her onto the couch beside him. Gradually, her heart rate slows. Her hands stop shaking. By the time Jesse Pinkman delivers a particularly profane monologue, she is laughing. Then he turns. His hand cups her jaw. Better? Better. Good. He kisses her. It starts slow, gentle, exploratory, but the heat builds quickly. His hands slide under her shirt. Her fingers grip his shoulders. He walks her backward to the bedroom, and when they tumble onto the mattress, he pauses long enough to look at her. Tell me if you want me to stop. I won't want you to stop, he grins, confident, but the confidence evaporates when she reaches down and touches him through his sweatpants. Her eyes go wide. There's no way that huge man monster is fitting inside me, she blurts. Garrett barks out a laugh. Did you just call my dick a man monster? It's huge. That's not going to fit. Wellsy, it's a regular old penis. It will fit. She is still staring at his crotch with something between horror and fascination. He is still laughing. And somehow, the absurdity of the moment, the laughter, the teasing, the complete lack of pressure makes the knot in her chest unspool. They keep going. He touches her. She touches him. Her body responds heat, want, pleasure curling through her, and then he shifts to look at her, and she opens her eyes, and the pleasure vanishes. She freezes. What's wrong? Nothing. But her body is gone cold under his hands. He pulls back. Hannah, Talk to me. She squeezes her eyes shut. It's your eyes, watching me. I know it's stupid, but when I see you watching me, I remember his eyes, Aaron, he says quietly. She nods. He is silent for a moment. Then he says, what if we take turns? Not together. We touch ourselves. We watch each other. But you're in control of you, and I'm in control of me. Nobody does anything to anybody else. She opens her eyes. You do that? In answer, he strips off his sweatpants, leans back against the headboard, and wraps his hand around himself. Heat flares in her belly. She hesitates, then follows his lead. What happens next is the most vulnerable thing she has ever done. She touches herself while he watches, his eyes dark with desire but his hands on his own body. She hears his breath quicken. She watches his muscles tense, and when she finally lets herself go, when pleasure crests and shatters through her, she cries out so loud that Napoleon the dog barks downstairs. Garrett follows a moment later, his groan echoing hers. In the aftermath, they lie side by side, breathing hard. Hannah turns her head on the pillow and smiles, a real smile, the kind that reaches her eyes. I did it, she whispers. He looks at her, and something in his chest cracks open. You did it, Wellesley. She asks if they can have sex, real sex. He says no baby steps. She pouts. He laughs. But when she leaves that afternoon, he lies in his bed and stares at the ceiling and thinks, I am in so much trouble, because he is not just attracted to her anymore. Chant. He is falling for her. The next time she comes over, Garrett gives her something she has never had before. He goes down on her. She panics at first, tells him he does not have to. Tells him it is probably not going to work. Tells him she is too tense, too broken, too much. He ignores all of it. Tough cookies, he says, and lowers his mouth. When she climaxes so hard she sees stars, so hard she bursts into tears, he holds her through the sobs. I'm sorry, she hiccups. I don't know why I'm crying. Because you're happy, he says. You're allowed to cry when you're happy. No one has ever told her that before. After, she returns the favor. She learns the shape of him, the sound he makes when she gets it right. She traces the flames tattoo on his arm and asks why he got it. I like fire, he says. That's it? No deeper meaning? Nope, just thought it looked cool. She laughs genuinely, fully laughs, and he decides it is his favorite sound. He leaves for hockey practice, and she stays behind, alone in his house, and decides to cook dinner. She makes a 3-cheese lasagna from scratch, garlic bread, and a Caesar salad. When he and his roommates walk through the door, the house smells like an Italian restaurant, and she is pulling a steaming pan from the oven wearing Tucker's pink oven mitts. Garrett stops dead in the doorway. He stares at her like she is a mirage. You made dinner? Yeah. Is that okay? He does not answer. He crosses the kitchen in 3 strides, cups her face, and kisses her so thoroughly that Dean whoops from the doorway and Logan turns away with something unreadable in his expression. Later, when her best friend asks Hannah point blank if she is hooking up with Garrett, she cannot lie. It's temporary, she insists, just fooling around. But she does not sound convinced even to herself.